If you are somebody who doesn't like the feeling of a traditional earbud in your ear because it doesn't feel good like me, well, the Soundcore C30i is something that's very unique and different because it's an open ear, basically clip-on earbud. Is this useful as a replacement for the traditional earbud? Well, I'm Alex from Hypnotics. Let's take a look at it right now. From the outside, when you first open the box, the C30i looks and comes like every other earbud does. It has a charging case, it's plastic, and there's a USB-C port that you plug in to charge. The earbuds themselves, they are a translucent gray color that showcases the circuitry inside. On first impressions, I really do like the earbuds and their unusual shape and form. It differentiates itself from all the other earbuds out there that you see in people's ears. So the way these open earbuds work is that instead of the mask lodging in place to cover your ear, a U-shaped device slides down the rim of your earlobes to hang on it instead. So it's a clip-on that you clip on through the top. Since the earbud is U-shaped, the latch points have a bit of bulk behind it, and it's understandable because they need to hold onto your earlobe somehow. My biggest problem is I often forget which side faces outwards and which one goes behind the earlobe. One of the sides is elongated oval, while the other one is closer to a circle, but unless you're looking at it closely when you're doing it, it looks and feels pretty similar. I can't convey how many times I put on the Soundcore C30i locked into only hear muffled audio because I realized they were on backwards too late. The same thing applies to inserting them back into the charging case. They magnetically drop into one position, but it's also possible to drop them in reverse. But fortunately, the case doesn't close, so that's a reminder that tells you it's in the wrong position. But I've done this many times incorrectly. When you do have these earbuds clipped on correctly, it kind of looks like you're wearing a large earlobe piercing. The correct positioning has it resting smack dab in the center, dividing the earlobe in half. It looks a bit strange at first when you look in the mirror, but I'm all for different form factors as, basically earbuds have become so stale in aesthetic nature recently. Initially, I was hopeful that because these open ear earbuds aren't directly lodged into my ear that it would feel more comfortable to wear, but I quickly waned on that because I actually felt this was more uncomfortable than having earbuds stuck into my ear. The easiest way to describe the feeling is that it feels like something is clamping on your earlobe. It isn't in like an undeniable pain, but it is certainly a noticeable pinching feeling. I wouldn't want to wear this as my daily driver, and that's just my honest opinion. And also, since the shape of this earpiece is unorthodox for this form factor, expect the sound quality to be a little bit lackluster compared to an earbud where you stick it into your ear. Sound feels distant and muffled for narrative and verbal audio content. Audio can get rather loud to offset the lack of fullness, but it's just not too full sounding and enjoyable in my opinion. Something sounds wrong with it. That's to be expected since the sound isn't physically pushing into your ear like a normal earbud would. Audio has more travel distance to reach you, and it does show. I do think it's more acceptable for something like podcasts and audiobooks where speaking is the main form because the substance is more desirable than the actual presentation when it comes to those verbal formats. There's essentially no base of any substance when it comes to listening to instrumental music with this thing. Lyrical music sounds like you're listening to music coming out of a down-facing laptop. It's a little bit too tiny to my liking. So when it comes to the functionality, we do have stuff here like touch controls. However, since the clip-on form factor requires the bulk of the base to reside on the back of the ear, the media touch controls are actually forced to occupy that part of the ear, which is the back. That means instead of using an index finger to click on like a normal earbud, the natural action is to use the thumb to tap on the back of your earlobe here. To be clear, you could still use your index finger to tap on the back of your ear. It just doesn't feel natural. Double tapping makes the Anker Soundcore control play and pause, while triple tapping skips to the next track. That's all the touch controls that we have here alongside with answering calls. The touch control area is extremely crowded and small, though. I found myself tapping and not really receiving any commands back from the earbud. It's a bit of a miss with this round-shaped form. Then when it comes to connection, you can switch between devices through multi-point connection using the Soundcore app. You can also tinker with sound effects, profiles, and check the earbud in case its battery life, but the app itself is rather simple and limited in functionality that it can modify. It's not a big deal. Most people probably won't be using this in the first place. To round out the rest of the features, the charging case can extend the overall battery life by about 30 hours, with the earbuds holding 10 hours of battery life off a single charge. Has fast charging through USB-C, and it actually survives a decent amount through the day, so I'm happy with the battery life. I will say though, even though I'm not a fan of this form factor, this Anker Soundcore C30i actually holds in place pretty nicely. I've never had them fall off while moving around or swing my head while walking. Also, due to them not physically plugging into my ear, I am more keen to my surroundings and I'm able to hear sounds from the outside world. So it does have that going for it. While I personally couldn't find a viable usage where I found this piece of audio tech to improve my lifestyle, I do think it looks cool and it looks unique, and there are probably some people out there who could benefit from this. Hey, if it's for you, it's for you. So if you are looking for a pair of earbuds like this, give it a shot. It's not that expensive as well, and I can see how some people may find this form factor to be worth that trade-off to the audio drop.